Do you all know what is 4 to the power of half? If you don't know, can you press your calculator? 4 power half. What's the answer?
4.
So fast. 4 power half is 2. 9 power half. No. No.
3.
It's actually 3. Yeah. 16 power half. Press calculator lah. Is 4. 25 power half. 5. So what does the power half do? Actually the power half, by definition, you have just pressed, most of you have pressed, is actually a square root. Now can you press 8 power 1/3?
2.
8 power 1/3 is 2. 27 power 1/3?
3. 4.
64 power 1/3?
4.
And finally 125 power 1/3? 5. And so what does the 1/3 do?
Cube root.
Cube root. Okay. The symbol, alright, for cube root is with a 3, a small 3. Please, it must be small. Otherwise, it's become 3 multiplied. But what is the symbol for square root? Just this symbol here, right? Do I put a 2 here? You all should know, right? Do I put a 2 here? No. So this is just one confusing part. Cube roots, root 4, root 5, all got the number here, but only square roots, you do not write the 2 in front. You do not write the 2 in front. And so looking at the pattern now, alright class? What do you think is the meaning of a power 1 over n? What does the denominator of the fractional power do? Look at here. What do you think the denominator does if it's 1 over? Roots, alright, so if it's at the denominator, it is a root. Okay, just take note. So how do I write this? I'll write it as a root n. The nth root of a. So this is called the nth root of a. So this is something you learn. If it's square root, it's a 2 here, but it's invisible. If it's a cube root, there's a 3 here, and so on. Okay, next we'll look at these two. Now, the bottom, we already mentioned that it is a root. What do you think is the numerator of the fraction? What does it do? Power, right? So the m is the power, all right? The numerator is the power, the denominator is the root. So what will happen is, why do I write it twice? Because you can power first, or you can root first. So what is going to happen is, if I root first, all right, it will look like a power 1 over n, the whole thing power m. Okay, nth root of a, this is the nth root of a. And then what do I do with the m? I just put a bracket and I power it. So it will look like that. Again, what does this mean? I root first, then I power it. Now another way is I power first. Okay, let me use another color before you're confused. Okay, I will power first, then I root it. Using the power law is still the same thing, right? So what will happen is I will power first, and I will nth root it. Okay, so this is the last 2 laws you have to learn. Okay, let's see how we applied it. Okay, now look at this. Without pressing your calculator, we are asked to evaluate without the calculator. So what does this mean? 4 power what? 3, and then square root. So usually we will square root first to make the number smaller. Then we will power it so that we can do it without a calculator. Again, we will root first, then we will power it. Okay, let's try this without calculator now. Square root of 4 is 2. 2 cubed is 8. So the answer is 8. Okay, next, let's try this first. The 27. What do we do first? So I have to cube root it. After I finish cube rooting, I must power it by 2. So I can do this without calculator again. Cube root of 27, it's down there, 3. So I have 3 square equals to 9. Okay, so that's how we apply the fractional powers. The denominator of the fraction is root, the numerator is power. Okay, let's answer a few questions quite quickly. So I want to express in terms of index form now. What is at the numerator? What is at the denominator? The numerator is 2. The denominator is 3. What does it mean? The numerator is power. The denominator is the root. Now, let's do the bottom first. A power. What is the numerator? 5. And the denominator? Okay, the numerator is a 5. The denominator is a 2. Very good. If you are curious, I can also put it as A power 5 over 2. How do I change the 1 over? I can put a negative in front and I can use this or this. Both are fine. Alright? So which one is better? I think this is okay. This is perfectly okay. Because I prefer positive power, right? But I just to remind you, these two are the same thing. If I want to remove the 1 over, I put a negative power. To remove the negative power, it changed to 1 divided by. Alright, last 2 questions. How do I simplify this, by the way? I change the root to what? What do I change this root? Today we are learning fractional indices. So what fraction do we put here? 1 over 2. Yes, like this one is something very basic that you must know. And we will use the power law now. X will be, you can do this mentally, right? X will be power times power 1. Y will be power 2. Okay, then we are done now. It's simplified. And please do not write the 1 now. Okay, finally, this is something that we have to convert. So let's do one last question. We will convert this. What's the fraction? One last fraction. 3 over 2. Everyone, can we use the law of indices? I will do this. Actually, we will finish this in one step. Okay, what do you do with 2 and this? What do you do with these two numbers? You plus, so I will do in one step. What do you do with the numbers here? Because of the divide, I minus what? Negative 2. Minus, because of the divide, negative 2. Again, if it's times, I add the power. Simply, if I divide, I minus the power. If I times, I add the power. If I divide, I minus the power. I add the power, minus the power. So yeah, this one I need your help. So I got 3.5 plus 2, 5.5. 5.5 is 11 over 2. Alright, Phoebe, can I stop the